Hello and welcome. This is Donna. I am starting a new journal. It is a spring journal and it is a journal challenge, altered book journal challenge with Alex from Crafty Goose. I am going to show you how I kind of start the process, and it's different every time for me. I don't have a regular format like a lot of journal makers do, but I was very inspired by watching altered art books, and there are a lot of wonderful tutorials out there where people who actually carve into the book and continuing to do the layers. And since I'm well, let's just say that seemed pretty challenging and very time consuming, absolutely stunning results. So I thought, how can I do this? And I came up with the idea of layering floral die cuts. And these are the Tim Holtz die cuts from the packages. I'm sure lots of people have these. And you can actually cut your own. I did cut some flowers out myself. I think they might be in here somewhere. Yeah, anyways, yeah, and I cut some flowers out. And so I layered them, and this was the result. So this will end up being the cover of the journal that I will be giving to Alex for spring. And I wanted to show you how I started that. And I did find a book that I gutted and cut, and it's interesting because it's padded. So I just used this. I think it's going to work great. I have selected some papers that I'll share with you. And so first I would like to show you this. So this came out of a photo album, a vintage photo album, and I tore the back side off. It had different compartments for cabinet cards. And you can see it's very fragile. And I used a Edith Holden page for my center photo. And I've kind of figured out where I want it to go. And you can certainly draw around the edge, but I just kind of creased around the edge, so I know that this is approximately where it's. Oh, I wanted it over here because I did want the sentiment in here, the spring. And after April, when May flowers and the winter whitethroat builds, and all the swallows. So the birds start nesting, and we have crabapple blossoms here. Really beautiful. I have a crabapple tree. So in this journal, I'm going to try to stick to spring, but mine is going to be based more on the garden, I think, because I am a gardener. And spring is such a fantastic time. And right now, as we look at the snow, and it's so cold in New York, I think it was 7 degrees today. And for me, I really enjoy the process of seed selecting and that kind of thing. So I start winter seeds. Sorry, my chair's a little squeaky here. So I do winter seeding and things like this. So it will be more garden kind of inspired. So let's move on with this. So I kind of know that my perimeter is right around here. And I think I'm going almost to the edge there. And my bottom looks like it's going to be right around here. Sorry if you didn't see that. So, and I'll keep referring back and forth. We have a visitor, a loud visitor. So probably I would love to see these roses. Oh, sorry. We don't have my roses start running up the fences and the trellises. I'm still going to add roses to the spring journal. I'm not going to be fussy about the flowers. I love all flowers, and that's just how it's going to be. And I know that Alex loves forget-me-nots, so I do want to try to get some forget-me-nots in this edge right here. What else can we do? I want to save some for the outside edge too. Although I have stacks of them. We can use anything. Where should we put that? Maybe building something with these, although it would be nice to get the other blossoms in there, wouldn't it? I know I'm not going to see that bird, so I can cover him. Let me just throw this together fairly quickly, and I'll show you what I mean when we put the frame over it. Okay, I'm going to just I'm just going to tear that because I want it to go in like this and maybe up around the bird there. Not too high. And what else can we use? Did the roses on that side. Let's see, we can continue with just kind of tucking them under each other and come back down with the roses here. And I don't want to cover the nest with flowers necessarily, but leaves would be nice. I probably could just figure out some leaves or something like that. Like maybe that rose right there. We'll see how this looks. So we're going to bring this back over and see what I mean. And I can move this around a little more to see how I want the flowers moved or centered. The sentiment is right there. I don't like the rose over the nest, but I don't mind the those are cherry blossoms, but I don't mind the cherry blossoms. And if the image doesn't work out, change your image. I ended up doing my sample board with the birds for the spring. But I do like that bird there. And I think maybe if I just tuck these down a little further, I won't mind that then. Okay. I'm just gonna, I don't want to cover, like I said, too much of the image, but I like this so far. So what I will do, I'm gonna try to get the nest in there. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna leave that literally like just sitting like that. Now my art glitter glue is dry. I should have capped it. Oh well, let's see if we can. Now I'm gonna have to get a pen. Sorry about that. So I have an issue with your art glitter glue, and then you can't find a pen big enough to go down these little holes. So like I said, I'm going to be winter seeding here soon, but I'm going to be doing a thing called stratification, which there are seeds that have to be cold in order to germinate. Delphiniums, lupins, things like that. And I will put them with my friend who's a master gardener. We're both master gardeners, and we will put them here. I'm going to glue this back side here, and I'll show you how I'm going to pick these up. Just some art glitter glue. Oh, it's actually right there, but this will help hold them in place until we do the back of this. So stratification, milk jugs out in the cold, and then we bring them in and put them under the lights after the recommended time frame for stratification. Okay, I think I like this. Standing up. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna press it down. And it will pick those up. They're just peeking out. So this 3D element, I really enjoy it. I guess I've always been so drawn to it. When I was young and my mom always did tons of crafts and things like that, Sorry about the chair. I don't know who remembers this, but this had to be, I hate to tell you, the 70s. But it was these papers, and she would fussy cut these like images out, and there were, you know, the foam padding you put under things to raise them up, and they would make a picture, and she would frame them, and they were on our walls along with all the macrame, you know, the macrame plant holders and stuff. So that's holding there pretty good. Not right on that one very much, so I will sneak just a little bit of that art glitter glue in there. Press that in. I'm also going to glue that tear down, and I'll glue it down here, although probably this will be covered with some sort of like a velvet trim or something like that. So we have the beginning. So while we let that dry, I think I'm going to go ahead and go over here with some embellishments. I like the roses there. I watch all of you who are so organized, and you craft in such a neat, clean way, and here I have things falling all over, and they're a hot mess, really. But that's okay. I'll do things differently. I know that Forget-Me-Nots are one of Alex's favorite, so there is some Forget-Me-Nots right there. Maybe I will put them over here. Let's see what else we can do here. I think I want to tuck these roses either down here or up there. I don't like that look. I'm gonna think about that. But I did want to show you another neat thing to do. And that is, I'll take this little piece of Forget-Me-Nots, and I think I'm gonna have them coming out here. So I'm looking where this line is right here, and I am going to cut that like that, and I'm gonna get some glue, and I'm gonna push it up against this, so it gives it even more of a 3D element. See what I mean? And sometimes I can stick a piece of paper or something up underneath there to just hold that piece, or sometimes I even use my scissors. So I'm just figuring out where I wanted that little piece to come out, like right there. But yeah, actually I can just press on this one, and it gives us that 3D element right there. I like that. And I can do more of that with some leaves and some roses. You can cut these die cuts. Let me see if I can get a shape out of that. I mean, I could use that right there. You're not really seeing the nest very much there and very well there, but I could do it. I could do do it like that. Actually, I'm gonna put a slit in that, and see if I can put it on there like that. So it's coming out of there, it's not interfering with the sentiment, and it's kind of going right behind this bud. See what I mean? But then I feel like you have to do something right there. Maybe if, see, this is what happens when it's just, I'm just running the camera. That works though. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put the glue right here, and, oh, my arm's in the way, sorry about that, and run that there, and then we'll kind of hold up under there, and I'll just tack it down over here, and maybe I'll just let that stick up because it does give it that 3-dimension. So when I did my sample, I just kept attaching underneath this extra layer here that's risen up because the cabinet cards were behind it. Let's finish decorating the front of this. I think I like the roses a lot, the look of the roses. Yeah, I do. There we go. Just mark that off there. I also distressed these. They are pretty bright, as you know, and so for me, I really needed to tone down not only the shine, but I wanted to get that distressed look there. Now, if I wanted to lift this, yeah, see, that doesn't look very good if I do that. How much? Thank you. You know what, let's just flip this. This is an old pillowcase. And the reason why I did this instead of a mat, because actually my mat's a total disaster. And secondly, you were going to get a lot of glare if I didn't put something on this desk. So I know that I can go ahead and rip this off here. That back. So we don't see any of that. Not that we'll see much of that, but I'll go ahead and rip it anyways. And now I can pull this back, and you can see this, these die cuts are all attached right there, like that. So now I can just figure out where the paper is going to be and attach that accordingly. There we go. Okay. I've seen other people do this. There we go. And now our little cap is not in the way constantly. Yeah. This will be glued down on top of a book as a book cover or a page, so I'm not really worried about the back right now. I still want to do a little more things coming out there. I mean, I could. I could have. Let's try this. And I'll distress that a little more. Let's try maybe that. I'm not liking that right there, but this is okay. No. No. So you just have to keep trying things. See if you like them or not. I can still go under there. I think I'll just glue it down. Didn't like the look of that, so I'm just going to glue the framework right down to that. Huh. It doesn't seem to require a lot more, does it? Okay. Maybe we'll look at some other rose pieces. have been also taking the organization challenge with Nancy from Wishes and Weeds. It has taken me weeks. I don't mind saying it really has taken weeks. And I'm going to do a final video. I'm going to distress that on the side. I have to figure out how to edit all my photos of before and after. If you can just picture somewhat hoarding, yes, definitely. When I counted my sewing patterns, I had over 400. That's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Here. Why don't we get rid of that stem? So I just cut that stem, so now they look like they're kind of coming off the same thing. I'm doing the angles, not angles, but I want to create a focal point up here and down here to try to get your eye to go in the, you know, in a circle. And this still brings us into our 3D area here, but also creates a nice border for the outside frame, so we feel like it's raised up. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with just the roses. I'm going to go ahead and snip this, distress it, and just angle that. I can lift this up a little and angle that up, and then the little egg is just peeking up, but we know that's a nest, and then there's the bird and the beautiful image of spring. Okay, and I'll just pop a little glue on that and to get that back down. I really hope I've been in frame all that time. We have a piece right here we can fix. And I was thinking, well, I could have done the roses on top of the velvet. Well, you know, so I've got the beginning of this done, and I probably will think about how else I want to embellish this with laces and things like that. But I just wanted to show you that 3D thing and try it out. Just build, build, build. And of course you can use the foam tape to get even more of a 3D effect. But there's that. And now I want to look at the one that's actually the cover. And I do think I'm not really thrilled with that. Okay. You have to look at things and think about it for a little bit. So we'll put that aside. This is what inspired me when I was going through all of my drawers in this giant desk. I found these things that I made probably 2 years ago. And they are modeled after some things that Robin W. Howe did with these beautiful pieces here, and then a book that I think goes with this very nicely. I didn't even know I put tags in there. So just a little book that goes along with the journal with some beautiful images. Fun. Right there. So let's just put this here with the cover, and let me show you some of the papers I'm thinking about using. So when I was sorting through papers, I also sorted through some fabrics that I thought would go well with this. And I picked this up. It's a fabric sample. And I think the rose theme is just continuing here. I liked that. I found this beautiful piece at Crafty Bits and Pieces. It is a store in Rochester, and when I go see my friend in Rochester every couple of months, I go there, and it's a non-for-profit, and they collect donations from quilters and crafters, and it's just this, it's amazing, and it changes all the time, so you never know what you're going to end up with. But I thought I could use this and these doilies right here. Those are fun. They would make great pockets. And another really detailed one. I don't really enjoy using all the laces, so I'm going to use them. And then here's some dyed paper that I have, some coffee dyed tissue. And I will try to incorporate this book. It was the garden book, so I'll try to make something with that. And really quickly, I'll just sort through some of the, oops, I better go up here. Some of the things, a card. Oh, that Pam sent me, my friend Pam. She sent me that. And another friend sent me that. And just that other piece from the Edith Holden papers. I'm not sure what I'm going to use. That's a Victorian photo album book. It's a little shiny for me, but I can always use clear gesso. And of course, Edith Holden, and these wonderful photos of botanical plate prints. And I picked spring. Got the tulips in there, and the mock orange, and some wonderful papers here that I got on Etsy with the gold in them. I'll try to remember who did those. Of course, this wonderful Braille paper that Pam sends me. More of that dyed papers, Edith Holden. And I have just an assortment of pages from different books that I have. I love the color of this really old botanical book, The Life Story of an Apple in Pictures. Look at the coloration on that, those old photographs. Of course, I have some brighter stuff, some kits, a tsunami rose. I have a piece that I've been saving forever. Sorry if the crinkle line's bothering you. It's yeah, it's about husbandry, which is gardening and planting. So get doing spring gardening. Lots of different floral books, garden design. I printed on very fragile, but it's very old dictionary pages. Did those a while ago. There's cutouts from prints and just some fun papers. And this is Mrs. Coggs, and I love her. She has fabulous images, and they're so nice and clear and beautiful. And Alex has she has ducks and geese. Well, she has ducks, but these are geese. I'm gonna try to find some. No, she has geese. Sorry. This is to make a collage, very inspired by Lely Mill. If you've ever taken a class from her, her mixed media art is phenomenal. She really inspired me years ago when I first found her, and I think I've taken every class she's ever offered. Lely Mill, it looks like a Lely Millie when you type it in, but it's Lely Mill. Wonderful ways that she uses not only images from books, but images from magazines, excuse me, and alcohol inks and acrylic paints, and they're just stunning collages, besides the fact that she is a phenomenal teacher. Probably a Sears and Roebuck catalog, some vellum that I printed on, and the list goes on and on. So I have a lot of papers to choose from, you can see here, and I'll be putting some original ephemera in here, and some old seed catalog pages. And so, yes. And I've got to figure out whose kit this is. I just found this when I was cleaning out, and I love it. It's so perfect for this journal. And then, of course, some of my own wrinkled and dyed papers. So thank you for joining me. I think Alex is going to try to film tonight the beginning of her spring journal, and we had no rules. It was just create, make what you would like, and I am just following my intuition with this one, and we'll see what we come up with. Thank you for joining me. Bye.